Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever noticed how the world doesn't really hate you, it just loves to watch you suffer? It's like they get popcorn ready every time you stumble, every time you choke, every time your name becomes the punchline. Oh, they call it motivation, they call it humility, but deep down, it's humiliation dressed in holy robes. And here's the punchline: that humiliation, it's not killing you, it's summoning something. Every whisper behind your back, every laugh at your expense, every "you'll never be enough," it's all part of a ritual you never signed up for. But the universe, oh, it was listening, and now some very curious, very powerful eyes are on you, watching, waiting, because your pain just sent out a signal and something answered. They thought it was funny, didn't they? The way you tripped, the way you broke, the way your eyes started to hide the fire that once burned so bright. They called it a lesson, a wake-up call, as if life was a polite teacher tapping you on the shoulder. No, it was a ceremony, a dark, twisted initiation you didn't know you were a part of. Every humiliation, every rejection, every time they made you feel less than human, it was carving you, sculpting you into something unrecognizable. You were being stripped, not destroyed. You see, pain has a peculiar taste for potential. It doesn't visit the ordinary, no. It hunts the dangerous ones, the ones who could change things if they ever realized who they were. And while they were laughing, something ancient started paying attention, because humiliation, it's energy. It's a signal that says, a transformation is happening here. The universe, the unseen forces, they smell it like blood in the water. You don't attract the light by smiling, you attract the divine by bleeding. Every tear, every insult, every night you wished to disappear, those were offerings. You gave them your innocence, and in return, you were handed power. Ugly, raw, terrifying power. The kind that doesn't ask for permission. The kind that remembers every name, every face, every smirk. And now, that ritual is complete. Something has shifted. The air around you has changed, hasn't it? You feel it when you walk into a room, like the shadows lean in a little closer. Because humiliation didn't destroy you, it summoned you. Pain attracts power if you don't look away. Most people flinch the moment pain arrives. They scramble, they run, they pretend it's not happening. They call it survival, but it's really avoidance wearing a brave face. You, though, you stayed. You stared straight into it while everyone else closed their eyes. And that's when something shifted. Because pain, it's not just suffering. It's an invitation, a test, a mirror that shows you what you really are when there's nothing left to hide behind. It strips you, mocks you, tempts you to quit. But if you don't look away, if you just keep watching, it begins to reveal its secrets. Pain is alive. It talks. It has personality, rhythm, and memory. It remembers who endures it and who escapes. Those who run never see what's waiting on the other side. The raw voltage of self-awareness, the unfiltered clarity that burns through illusions. But those who stay, those who bleed and breathe through it, they start to hear a whisper inside the chaos. It's not comforting. It's not gentle. It's power. The kind that can't be faked, borrowed, or inherited. The kind that grows from scars and silence. Pain wants to see if you'll blink. It wants to know if your faith is louder than your fear. And when you refuse to turn away, when you let the storm hit you in full force, you stop being prey. You become something else. Pain begins to respect you. It starts bending to you. It starts feeding you. Because power doesn't come from avoiding the fire. It comes from walking through it without asking for mercy. The moment you stop running from pain, you start attracting everything it was sent to give you. The crowd mocks what it secretly fears. That's the oldest trick in the book. Disguise fear as laughter, weakness as confidence, insecurity as judgment. They see something in you they can't quite name, something they don't understand, and it unsettles them. So they laugh, they point, they label you strange, arrogant, different, because if they can mock it, they can control it. If they can control it, they don't have to face what it awakens in them. You remind them of everything they buried, the dreams they killed, the courage they abandoned, the fire they were too afraid to touch. You become their mirror, and no one likes the reflection that shows them their own chains. The crowd needs to believe it's safe in its sameness. They build rules, walls, masks, and when you step outside those lines, they panic. They call it rebellion, but it's just freedom, raw and unfiltered, and that terrifies them. You don't fit in their mold, and that's not a flaw. It's a threat, because if you exist unapologetically, then so could they, and that realization burns. It's easier to laugh at you than to admit they envy your courage. It's easier to mock you than to question their comfort. They'll try to turn your authenticity into a joke, your vision into madness, your strength into arrogance. But deep down, every time they sneer, they flinch. They don't hate you for being different. They hate you for showing them what they could have been. Every whisper, every laugh, every insult is just a mask for fear. Fear of change, fear of truth, fear of awakening. The crowd doesn't mock what it understands. It mocks what it secretly wishes it had the guts to become. The broken carry the blueprint of change, because only something that's been shattered knows what it means to be rebuilt. The untouched, the perfect, the ones who've never fallen, they talk about strength, but they've never felt it. They decorate their walls with quotes about growth, but they've never crawled through the dirt to find it. The broken don't have that luxury. They've seen too much, lost too much, bled too long to pretend anymore. Every crack, every scar, every sleepless night becomes part of a map, a design written in pain and survival. You can't fake that kind of wisdom. You can't learn it from books or speeches. You earn it through collapse. When something breaks, it reveals its insides. The truth spills out. The illusion dies. What's left is the raw structure, the blueprint. The world doesn't change through perfection. It changes through destruction. Every revolution, every invention, every revelation was born from something that refused to stay whole. The broken see the patterns others miss. They see the weak spots in the system because they've lived them. They see the lies people tell themselves because they've told those same lies once, too. When you've been torn apart, you stop believing in surface-level fixes. You start redesigning the foundation. You start asking the questions everyone else avoids. The broken don't follow the rules, they rewrite them. They know what doesn't work, and that's where change begins. Society fears them because they can't be manipulated anymore. You can't threaten someone who's already lost everything. You can't shame someone who's faced their own demons and survived. They walk differently, talk differently, look at life differently. There's a kind of madness in their calm, a kind of peace in their defiance. They don't crave approval, they crave meaning. And meaning only comes from destruction that teaches creation. When you've broken enough times, you start building differently. You don't build to impress, you build to endure. You build to heal. You build something that can't be destroyed, the same way twice. That's evolution, not shiny, not glamorous, just brutally honest. Every scar becomes a symbol of design. Every tear becomes ink. The blueprint of change isn't drawn in comfort. It's carved through chaos. The ones who've suffered carry the codes, the lessons, the warnings. They don't need validation because they are the evidence that transformation is real. The broken don't need saving. They are the architects of the new world, the quiet engineers of revolution. They've already died in every way that matters, and what's left of them is pure potential. They've seen what collapse feels like, and that's why they know how to build something that will last. The broken don't rebuild the same world they lost. They create a world that can never be destroyed the same way again. You can't be chosen until you're crucified. Everyone wants destiny, but no one wants the price tag that comes with it. They pray for purpose, for greatness, for divine favor. But when the fire comes, they scream betrayal. That's the joke. The moment you're chosen, the world starts tearing you apart. Not because you did something wrong, but because you carry something too heavy for comfort. Being chosen doesn't look like celebration. It looks like exile. It looks like silence from the ones who once cheered you on. It looks like betrayal from the ones who swore loyalty. Crucifixion isn't just nails and pain, it's exposure. It's standing stripped in front of the same crowd that once praised you and watching them turn. It's the death of your reputation before the birth of your revelation. Every chosen one bleeds publicly. That's how the universe separates the pretenders from the destined. You can't carry real power until you've been humiliated, until every false layer of pride has been peeled off. The crown doesn't come before the cross. The cross is what earns it. When you're crucified, you learn who's real. You learn what faith actually means when there's nothing left to hold on to but the invisible. It's not a punishment. It's a coronation in disguise. Pain becomes the anointing oil. Rejection becomes the throne. You stop trying to be understood because you realize understanding isn't part of the process. Endurance is. Those who are chosen are always broken first, not to destroy them, but to hollow them out so something greater can fit inside. Every chosen soul must hang in the dark long enough to learn what light really costs. You can't be chosen until you've been crucified by everything you once thought you needed. The ones laughing today will be silent witnesses tomorrow. They mock because it's easy. It costs them nothing to sneer at what they don't understand. They see your struggle and mistake it for failure, your patience for weakness, your silence for defeat. But time has a way of shifting the stage. The same people who laughed the loudest will one day watch you rise, unable to find the words that once rolled off their tongues so easily. Laughter is cheap when the story isn't finished. They only laugh because they're watching the middle of your process, not the ending that's still being written in blood, sweat, and stubborn belief. They laughed at every visionary before history crowned them. They mocked the dreamers, the prophets, the misfits. They said, "Who does he think he is?" And, "She'll never make it." The crowd always doubts what it can't measure. They need proof before they believe, but by the time proof arrives, it no longer needs their permission. The tables always turn in silence, not with revenge, not with noise, but with undeniable transformation. You won't even have to say a word. The energy will speak for you. The glow will silence the noise. They'll remember the things they said. They'll remember the moments they laughed while you bled. They'll see the same person they once ridiculed, now standing where they swore you'd never reach. But by then, your focus won't be on them. It'll be on the path that made their laughter irrelevant. That's the beautiful irony of fate. The joke always belongs to the one who survives the punchline. Because the ones laughing today aren't mocking you, they're marking the timeline of their own regret. Tomorrow, their voices will fail, and their silence will say everything.